In today's video, we are going to be talking about the dangers of Edison's new billing structure and what you need to do to protect yourself. Hey everyone, so today's episode we are going to be talking about the dangers of Edison's new billing structure and what you need to do to protect yourself. So as of right now, most people have always been paying what's called a tier structure. There's 3 tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Depending how much you use, it goes up in price. So the more you use, the more you pay, okay? That's great. But the new change and what everybody should be freaking out, because I'm freaking out, well, really, not really, I'm protected. I know exactly what we have to do, but what you have to do, or what you have to know is that it's called time of usage. Time of usage is now a new billing structure that depending on what time of day you use your energy, that's where it's gonna, change in price. So for example, let's say from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., it's going to be a certain price, and then from 2 p.m. to like 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. it's going to be a different price, and so forth. Okay, so that's only the gist of it. Time of usage is actually pretty complicated. Within the time of usage billing structure, there's different segments or different setups that they're going to be charging you. So I spoke to a reputable company called the Local Outreach Project. They really helped me understand all this, the whole setup, the billing structure, the money, the numbers, the percentages, everything. They got really granular with it, and I was very impressed on how much knowledge they had on this stuff. So I was gonna try to reproduce a video and try to make that for you guys, but they really have a heart for showing you guys and educating people on this and helping people with their utilities and lowering their costs. So I was like, what, could you guys help me out and help my viewers understand this? Because if I try to reproduce this, I'm not gonna do it justice. So if you guys, here is Anthony from the Local Outreach Project. He's gonna explain this to you very beautifully.
Hey guys, this is Anthony from Local Outreach Project. Wanted to go ahead and show you guys exactly how Edison is going to be switching you over to your time of use system. That's going to be the new payment method as of 2020 for everyone within an Edison territory. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and jump into your tiered rate plan, which is exactly how you pay right now currently in late 2018. As you can see right now, we're currently on Edison's website. So if we scroll down here a little bit, you're going to go ahead and notice that you can see the 3-tier structure that you currently pay into, which is right here in this box right there. So for tier 1, your current cost as of late 2018 is 18 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, that's up to your baseline allocation. Now, what does that mean? A lot of people don't necessarily know what that is. If you take a look on your bill, it'll tell you how much is allowed within your tier 1 structure. Every house is different, and that's because Edison goes ahead and takes in a few things into consideration and factors in how much energy would your house use on average. They take a look at your neighbors, they take a look at the size of your home, and they figure out in this community, in this location, what's the average amount of electricity being used for these households, and that's what they allow you to use for your home. Once you go past that, you start to enter tier 2. So tier 1 is usually anywhere from about 200 to 400 kilowatt hours allotted. And like I said, every house is different. So to figure that out, you want to go ahead and look on your bill on page 3, and that's going to go ahead and tell you exactly how much is allowed for your first tier. Once you pass that, let's go ahead and just use your 200 kilowatt hours as your baseline allocation. And you end up into tier 2, you're now paying 25 cents per kilowatt hour. That's going to be very important to note because now you're able to use anything between 200 to 800 kilowatt hours at 25 cents per kilowatt hour. So your electricity bill just went up in price just from that. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into a little bit about tier 3. Now tier 3 is a little bit of a bigger hit. It's pretty rare that homeowners are jumping into tier 3. It's not very common, but if you take a look at tier 3, right over here in this section, it's 35 cents per kilowatt hour. Now that's really almost double from tier 1. So that's going anywhere from 800 kilowatt hours and above for your home in this given situation that you would be charged at 35 cents per kilowatt hour. Now again, that's pretty rare. It's hard to hit that. Most homeowners that do hit tier 3 are homes that have other amenities such as a second story, they have a pool in the backyard, There's a lot of electronic devices in the house, such as multiple TVs, gaming systems, computers. Also, having kids in the house really does affect that. I know you parents know what it's like to pay when your kids don't turn off the lights, right? So there's a lot of things like that that really do affect people that jump into Tier 3. But it's just good to go ahead and remember that this is how this payment structure currently works, and also remember how rare it is to hit this number right here. Now to go ahead and describe the time of use system that Edison's implementing in 2020. Remember what I had told you about how your tier system works currently, and this is what you're going to be changed and transferred over to as of 2020. If we scroll down here a little bit, you can see that there are several different rate plans for time of usage. You have TOUDA, TOUDB, TOUDT. This one is involving if you have an electrical vehicle and you wish to have a different setup to charge it. And then TOUD from 4 to 9 p.m. as well as 5 to 8 p.m. At the end of the day, they're doing this to kind of confuse you. There are different rates for different reasons for different styles of homeowners. However, the biggest thing to remember is that these are all actually really bad. And I'm going to jump into why. So let's still go ahead and use the average home using less than 700 kilowatt hours a month. That's a low and medium energy user from their description. That's about an average homeowner currently. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the details that they have right now with their rates. So a daily basic charge is 3 cents per day, but the daily minimum charge is going to be 34 cents per day no matter what. So even if you aren't home or using any electricity, if you literally disconnected everything, if you flipped all the switches over on your meter, so that way all the breakers were shut off, you would still be paying 34 cents a day for electricity. Not that big of a deal, but it is something to go ahead and think about for the upcoming information. Your baseline credit is up to 8 cents per kilowatt hour for your monthly baseline allocation. Now remember that 200 that I had mentioned earlier, that means exactly, they already did the math for you. If you have a 200 kilowatt hour monthly baseline allocation, you'll be credited $16 on your bill. So you're already at negative $16, which a lot of people tend to think is a nice thing, but once again, we'll kind of jump into that in a second. So right now, you're no longer paying based on the tier structure that you're already currently used to. Now what you're paying is you're paying based on the time that you're using the electricity. So if we take a look, just for the summer rates, we'll go ahead and start here. From the hours of 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., you are currently being charged at 28 cents. And also from the hours of 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., you're being charged 28 cents as well. So altogether, from these two locations, that's about 30% of your electricity. If you start to jump into the 2 to 8 p.m. area, we're now touching the 60% of your electricity usage, okay? And then you also have the 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. area, which is right over here, and that's about 10% of your electricity. That's still like the fridge is running obviously at night while you guys are sleeping, you have clocks up, people are charging their devices, you're still leaking out some energy from having your televisions plugged in, things like that. But for the most part, you're currently being charged 48 cents for your high peak hours, and they even say on peak right here. 2 to 8 p.m. is about 60% of your electricity. So taking a perspective of a home from the current tiered rate, where let's say that you used 700 kilowatt hours of electricity, tiered system, it would be $36 paid out for the first 200 kilowatt hours for tier 1, and then it would be $125 for tier 2, because that's going to be the remainder 500 kilowatt hours that are allotted in that area. That bill total is going to be $161 for 1 month on the tiered usage system. Now let's go ahead and just calculate this really quick from the summer rates that are right here for time of use. Now remember, 60% of your electricity usage comes between the hours of 2 to 8 p.m. So starting from the 700 kilowatt hours inside 1 month, 60% of that is going to be 420 kilowatt hours, which means that 30% of that is going to be at 210 kilowatt hours, and then of course we have 70 kilowatt hours for the 10% level. Now that means that 60% of your electricity is going to cost you $201.60, whereas the 30% of your electricity is going to cost you $58.80, and that small 10% of your electricity is going to cost you $8.40. That means it's compared to your current bill at $161, which we had just shown you mathematically. That bill is now a grand total of $268.80. Now, for homeowners that have something that's similar to that $161 bill, like I told you right now, that's a 67% rate increase currently. For other homeowners who pay less than the $161 a month, there's some bad news. Your rate will actually increase even more. The reason for that being is because, if you recall, Tier 2 is currently 25 cents and Tier 3 is currently 35 cents. But Tier 1 is still at 18 cents per kilowatt hour. So if somebody's being charged at 18 cents per kilowatt hour for all, if not majority, of their electricity, and they suddenly get thrown onto this time of usage system where they're paying 28 cents and 48 cents, not to mention 48 cents for 60% of the electricity that they use, their bills are going to be skyrocketing in comparison to what they normally have. Now, referencing the weekend, they still give you a little bit of a break by eliminating the 48 cent bracket, as you can see over here, but they still are charging you more than what your Tier 2 currently is costing you at 25 cents, which again, some people don't even meet. So you're still going to have a huge rate increase. You're still going to go ahead and see the changes, not to mention that they're going to go ahead and charge you every single day just to be connected to them, but it's still going to affect your bill greatly. So that's why it's a great idea for homeowners to understand a lot of the changes that are happening, as well as some of the options that are available to them to go ahead and help dodge a lot of these damages that time of use is going to be doing to them currently as of 2020, and possibly sooner, because some communities are actually being put onto this sooner. California gave Edison the A-OK to go ahead and start this as of January 1st in 2017. So if your community's infrastructure is ready for it, don't be surprised if 1 month out of nowhere you're actually on this time of use system. So please do go ahead and keep up to date with a lot of the changes. Make sure that you know what's available to you, and that would be my best suggestion, to go ahead and keep yourself safe. All right, so thanks again for listening. Once again, it's Anthony from the Local Outreach Project, and take good care.
So like Anthony just said, this can happen at any time from now until 2020. A lot of homeowners have been thrown into the new time of usage billing structure, and this happened because California gave the green light to Edison since January 2018. So in order for this to happen, Edison has been updating their infrastructure. So if you've been seeing a lot of construction in your area, don't be surprised if your next bill has been switched over to time of usage. So what are my options? What do I do? How do I avoid this energy apocalypse? Guys, they say knowledge is power, but really it's applied knowledge where the true power is at. You gotta take action. Do not get caught with your pants down. You know, what I say to do is reach out to Anthony and the Local Outreach Project. Their mission statement is lowering the cost of living one homeowner at a time. And really, that's what they do. They're very knowledgeable, passionate, understanding of all this. And I say, go follow the link that I put down below. It's their free energy assessment. They're gonna help you with your bill, what you're paying for, what you shouldn't be paying for, how to lower those costs, and what energy sources and options are best for you. So reach out. Hope you guys had a good value out of this. Get good value out of this video. I learned a lot. I hope you did too. Thank you guys so much. Click the link below and don't forget to like and subscribe.